You keep waiting for a sign, don't you? Not a loud one, not something obvious, just something that feels certain. Something that removes the risk, the doubt, the possibility of failure. But what if I told you the silence you've been living in is the sign? Because look at you, sitting here, watching this, scrolling through your life like it's someone else's story, pretending you're just thinking things through, when deep down, you already know what's been calling you. You felt it last night, didn't you? That quiet pull, that uncomfortable thought you tried to distract yourself from. Haha, yeah, that one. It didn't come with fireworks, no dramatic music, no perfect timing, just a whisper in your chest that said you're wasting time. And you ignored it. Not because you're lazy. No, that's too simple. You ignored it because starting means something terrifying. It means there's no more pretending, no more hiding behind one day, no more telling yourself you could do it without actually proving whether you can, or worse, proving that you can't. You've built a strange comfort in potential. It's warm there, isn't it? The idea that you might be great someday, if the conditions were right, if you had more time, more confidence, more clarity. But potential is a beautiful prison, because as long as it stays unrealized, it can't be judged. And you've been protecting that illusion like it's your identity. But here's the part no one says out loud. The longer you wait, the heavier it gets. That thing you've been postponing, it doesn't disappear. It sits inside you. Quiet, patient, growing sharper, turning into restlessness, then frustration, then regret. You felt that too, haven't you? That strange irritation for no clear reason, that low-level dissatisfaction even when things are fine, that sense that you're out of alignment with your own life. That's not random. That's you noticing you. There was a moment, maybe years ago, when you were closer to starting. You had less knowledge, less skill, but more courage. Funny how that works, right? The more you learn, the more reasons you find not to begin. Because now you see all the ways it could go wrong. You see the competition, the uncertainty, the risk. You've become aware, but not active. And awareness without action becomes a slow kind of torture. Let me tell you something strange. There was someone just like you. Not better, not more talented, not more ready. Just someone who got tired of negotiating with themselves. Someone who realized that waiting for confidence is like waiting for permission from a world that doesn't even know you exist. They didn't feel fearless when they started. They felt exposed, awkward, incomplete. They questioned every step. But they moved anyway. And nothing magical happened. Not at first. No instant success. No applause. Just small, almost invisible progress. The kind you could easily dismiss if you weren't paying attention. But something did change. Something subtle. Something dangerous. They stopped lying to themselves. Because when you take action, even messy, imperfect action, you can't hide behind fantasies anymore. You meet reality. You meet your limits, your weaknesses, your inconsistencies. And yeah, that's uncomfortable, but it's also the only place where growth is real. Right now, you're standing at a strange edge, not physically, but mentally. One step forward and everything changes. Not instantly, not dramatically, but permanently. Because once you start, you can't unsee what's possible. And that's exactly what scares you. Because starting isn't just about doing something new. It's about becoming someone different. Someone who can't blame time or luck or circumstances anymore. Someone who has to face themselves every single day and ask, did I show up? And that question, it's heavier than you think. You've been avoiding it by staying in preparation mode, watching videos, gathering information, planning, overthinking, convincing yourself that you're being productive, when really you're just delaying the moment of truth. But let's be honest, You don't need more information. You need to decide. And decisions are violent in a quiet way. Because when you choose one path, you're killing every other version of your life that could have existed. That's why it feels so heavy. That's why you hesitate. Because you're not just starting something, you're letting go of endless possibilities. But here's the twist. By not choosing, you're still choosing. You're choosing stagnation. You're choosing repetition. You're choosing to wake up a year from now in the same place with the same thoughts, watching someone else live the life you once imagined for yourself. And that hurts more than failure ever could. Failure is sharp, immediate, and honest. Regret is slow, quiet, and permanent. It doesn't scream at you. It whispers. It shows up in random moments, late at night, early in the morning, in the middle of conversations where you suddenly feel disconnected, like you're watching your own life from the outside. That's the cost of waiting too long. But right now, you're still early enough to change it. Not perfectly, not completely, but enough. Enough to interrupt the pattern. Enough to prove to yourself that you're not stuck, you're just hesitating. Enough to shift your identity from someone who wants to start to someone who does. And that shift, it's not loud. It doesn't look impressive. It's a quiet decision. A moment where you stop negotiating and just begin. No grand announcement. No dramatic transformation. Just a small, deliberate action that feels slightly uncomfortable, slightly uncertain, slightly real. That's how it starts. Not with confidence, but with movement. You've been waiting for motivation, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. It depends on mood, energy, circumstances. If you build your life around it, you'll always be inconsistent. What you need is something deeper, something less emotional, more committed. Because the truth is, you don't become ready by thinking about it. You become ready by doing it. Badly, repeatedly, until bad slowly becomes better. And yeah, you'll feel stupid sometimes. You'll doubt yourself. You'll compare. You'll question whether it's even worth it. That's part of it. That's supposed to happen. Because growth isn't clean. It's messy, unpredictable, and often invisible in the beginning. But every time you show up, even when it feels pointless, you're rewriting something inside yourself. You're proving that you're not controlled by fear, just influenced by it, and there's a difference. Fear doesn't disappear when you start, it just loses authority. It goes from being a wall to being a background noise. Still there, still uncomfortable, but no longer in control of your decisions. And one day, you'll look back at this exact moment, this hesitation, this uncertainty, and it'll feel strange. Because what once felt impossible will become normal. Not easy, but familiar. That's how transformation works. It doesn't feel like a breakthrough. It feels like a slow shift in what you're willing to tolerate. Right now, you're tolerating delay. You're tolerating indecision. You're tolerating a version of yourself that you've already outgrown. And that's the real discomfort. Not the fear of starting, but the awareness that you should have already started. That's why this feels different. This isn't just another video, another idea, another temporary spark of motivation that fades in a few hours. No, this is recognition. Something inside you is connecting the dots, realizing that you've been here before, many times, and every time you chose to wait. But what if this time you don't? What if you break the pattern, not by doing something extraordinary, but by doing something immediate, something small but undeniable, something that removes the option of pretending you'll start later? Because later is a dangerous word. Later turns into tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into when things calm down. And suddenly, years have passed, and you're still standing at the same edge, just older, more tired, and a little less hopeful. That's the trajectory you're interrupting right now. Not your entire life, just the direction of it. And direction matters more than speed. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't even need to believe in yourself fully. You just need to stop resisting the first step. Because once you take it, something shifts. Not externally, but internally. You move from imagination to experience. From what if to what is. And that changes everything. So maybe this is your sign. Not because I said it, not because it's written somewhere, but because something inside you, right now, is reacting. Not with excitement, but with recognition. A quiet, uncomfortable clarity that you can't ignore anymore. You don't need another confirmation. You don't need more time. You just need to decide whether you're going to keep watching your life or finally step into it. Because the truth is, no one is coming to push you. No perfect moment is waiting. No version of you in the future is going to magically become braver. The only version of you that exists is this one, right here, right now. And whatever happens next depends on what you do with it.